Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Rev Dane Marks, and welcome to episode 4 of Chatting with God. And this is going to be discussing with the Lord unity and togetherness. Good Lord, please help me understand and give in the most clearest context of the conversation which I'm going to have now. And any other information and wisdom, please bring to me. Help me understand where my points of thoughts are, and help me understand the narrative of which we move forward. Thank you for all the wisdom that you are bestowing on me at the moment. Thank you for answering the questions as we go along, showing me the direction of which we need to go into and the things that we need to do. Please bless my brothers and sisters listening to this podcast and their own conversations with you. Amen. So my main thought, Lord, is unity and togetherness. So with unity and togetherness, I've been pondering whether it's possible to be fully united and fully together. Upon this thought, I've reflected on the circumstances that people inherit in life. To start off with, as a fundamental understanding of unity and togetherness, as opposed from people being divided. So in the previous video, we talked briefly about division. On this, I want to try and get my understanding of unity and togetherness. If I think about my upbringing, and the social setting that I was in, although we were really lucky as a family and I was raised well to the best of our abilities, we did live in a very deprived area. And there was a lot of issues around about deprivation, finance, drug issues, crime, and other things that come from there. It was a very big council estate. And my learning from that was everything needs to be kind of fought for, to hold on to, and kind of protective strategy in life that led me to having the views of, you got to stand strong, you got to have, you got to fight for what you got to hold on to things, which probably ended up leading to me in law in later life. Although my views are changing at the moment, I'm becoming more unified with these conversations with you, getting a more broader perspective on things. So that was mine. But there's other people who have had different lifestyles. So they could have been raised in what we used to call the middle class, like a middle class family, where they didn't have financial issues, or they wasn't in a community that was deprived, and everything had to be kind of or highly driven by crime back then. So just from them two perspectives alone, I've come to the conclusion, and let me know whether I'm right or wrong, Lord, that that unity comes in commonalities or understanding. I don't think it's a given. I think it's something that needs to be strived for. Unity needs to be striven for through understanding other people's perspectives and accepting that other people's perspectives are not going to be the same as yours, because lifestyles generally differ. So we can look on this on many different points. We can look on it through education. Some people have a higher standard of education than others. We can look at it on social status. Some people who generally work every day for a living, and there might be people who don't work every day for a living. We could have other social status issues, such as the community which you're raised in, the socialization and social norms of them communities differ from other communities. And all that creates an understanding in each individual person, as well as many other attributes, what background you come from, were your parents immigrants, you know, or is there more of a kind of nationalist background within your environment? Um, are you rural? Do you live in a rural area as opposed to a city area? Because all of these contributions will be quite different. So I think we've got to accept that division is a norm, and that people will have different points of view due to the experiences in life, whether it be both nature or nurture effect. That people are going to differ in their views, and that's not a bad thing. It leads to more wisdom and more understanding of people's experiences and perspectives, in general way of life. Um, and unity should always be strived for. But I think unity comes from finding common ground, and not always finding common ground, also learning to agree to disagree. And not invalidating other people's experiences just because ours is different. This can be a struggle, I believe, especially when you hold strong views, or when we hold strong views about certain things in life, and we've come to some conclusions, or more so where we've had a strong education in a sort of background, such as for law with me, where I studied law, and I've got some very strong views on law, legislation, and rule of law. It is something I inherently believe in, but I also see the issues that are arising as a result of inequalities in law. So, but it's making sure you have that balanced view that not everyone will agree with them, so that stance in life, and and that people will have differences, and them differences. I think the question is, do we celebrate them differences? I suppose it depends on what the differences is. I think if the differences, from what I'm thinking, hinder or harm other people, um, then maybe it's not something that should be celebrated. If you're harming somebody else, whether mentally, physically, or in a way that can hinder them um, in the progress of living a positive life, then I believe then that them things should be challenged. But then how do we define what needs to be challenged or what don't need to be challenged, Lord? Um, it takes a lot of wisdom to understand somebody else's perspective. It takes a lot of understanding um, and empathy in some cases. And where do we find that balance? Do we always, is it something, is a balance always something is something we're always striving for? Or is it always something we should really actively promote within our life? I do believe the majority of people I've come across have got a balanced view. We have extremities, obviously, in different ways, but I think them extremities are probably far and few between when it comes to commonalities. And I think where I'm being guided by you is to identify those commonalities more. And also seeking from you, is there more wisdom that I need to embrace when it comes to unity and togetherness? Is there something else that I'm missing? I do believe fundamentally we are one. I believe you are the source of the oneness. We come from that on our spiritual aspects, but our physical lives, our day-to-day earthly lives, I believe are expressions of individuality that life have shaped us inherently um, to move towards. For what reason, I still don't understand. I don't think anyone's got that answer yet, but it would be nice to get an understanding of that answer. What is the point? I can only imagine it's just a way of us being able to express um, a form of life from our infinite selves to our earthly selves, and add to something else. But we really, really don't know that answer quite yet. Um, But I do know that you hear us and you answer us. And but yeah, more wisdom, I think, here. But I think the ultimate thing of this video is, can unity exist without division? Can division exist without unity? And then what does that look like? And furthermore, what would be the point? I don't think it's possible in this experience. This life experience that we've been given. I think you need the both. I don't think it could be any other way for the reasons I just outlined. Um, for instance, if somebody went swimming and they had a negative experience swimming, and then somebody had a really good experience, that's gonna change. They're both gonna have different views on that experience. And it's the same throughout life. We can only really reflect on what we know, what we've learned in life, and adapt that way. And for that, with the way the life is, and the experiences that people have, which are vastly different for every individual, um, add to that. Add to that understand. Add to that understanding that we hold. Um, And then I believe it's our job then to seek a broader view and seek to understand. And where we can't understand, just agree to disagree. I don't think that's a bad thing. And allow people to be their unique, complicated selves. Um, I think that's the right way forward. But being able to consciously adopt that mind frame where we can move forward with that, with them thoughts in mind. So, Lord, give me wisdom, more wisdom on this, and how you think I need to learn more. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next video. Love, Rev Dane.